Okay, we are live. It is Tuesday. We are back to working on the display log for the banana slug. I did get a little, and I do mean a little bit of work done on it yesterday. Sorry, it keeps coming in and out of a drawer, so getting a little fuzzy. I had fluffed some yarn last night, and then I was like, well, I mean, I could just add to it while I'm here. So that's what I did. And now I'm not sure where I want to pick up with everything. Give me 1 minute, you guys. Sorry, my mom has just the greatest timing. The mother-in-law is maybe showing up today. We're not sure if they're even staying or how long they're staying. She wouldn't tell us. Kept asking, do I need to feed you on Thanksgiving so I can make plans so we can have some gluten-free stuff for your sister? Oh, I don't know. We might end up at another family's. I'm like, you understand that unless the other family member is also gluten-free, that they're not going to be able to accommodate last freaking minute, right? And that is incredibly inconsiderate. To just show up on somebody's doorstep and expect to be fed. Like, other people don't appreciate that. Trying to get this into her head doesn't work. It's like, I'm not against feeding you, but I need to know if I need to plan on feeding you. So that I have food that your sister can eat. I don't know, y'all. I'm stressed the fuck out already. And they're not even here yet. Hold on. Sorry. Had to make sure the husband did something. I thought I saw him doing it, but then I wasn't sure I saw him do it. It involves our dinner for tonight, so I'm like, you did the thing, right? I have pizza dough rising. I tried to get a little bit of editing done last night, but I've been going nonstop on gifts and stuff, so my brain was like, no, I'm not in the mood to deal with this right now. And I couldn't concentrate. So I was like, yeah, we're just gonna take the night off from dealing with that for right now. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's just been such a weird day already. Like, Friday they stopped and picked up our trash when we don't have trash pickup on Friday. It was odd. We normally have our recycling pickup on Tuesday morning. Wednesday morning, excuse me. It used to be Thursday mornings, then they changed it to Wednesday, and I'm like, okay. So we put, not like an hour ago, I put the recycling in the bins since it had to go to the curb tonight. Emptied out the kitchen. I was like, okay, I don't want to be falling over this for another week. So, and the one bin was pretty full, so I was like, well, let me at least empty it outside. And then they just stopped and picked it up. It wasn't on the curb. It was behind our little planter wall where we normally keep it. It's very confused. I'm like, I don't know if they're just picking up extra because of the holiday, or if they're trying to give themselves less work tomorrow. Like, I don't know what's happening. We certainly didn't get a letter about days changing, so I'm just like really confused. You know what? I want an incense cone. I love this. My husband got it for me for my birthday. He got me the big jar. It's the 1 cent that, well, one of the 2-3 cents that don't give me a headache. And I usually prefer the sticks to the cones, but I've got this like tea light holder that hangs that has, you know, all these air holes and stuff on it that keeps the cone contained, which I don't really have with the stick. So I can burn it while I am doing... Didn't I have a... Did I already... Did I? I was prepping a piece of yarn. And then I got distracted. And then I was like, you know what? I want some incense. Did I set it down or did I actually use it? Welcome to my life, y'all. Did it... Did it, like, fall? Did I... What happened to it? doesn't... Did I use it? I don't see it stuck to anything. Okay, it's either... Don't drop that. That is glass. Either I used it and I'm not remembering using it. Oop. Or it's vanished into the abyss somewhere. Okay. Sure. Alright then. Maybe I didn't actually... I don't know. I don't see anything like half tacked in place. I don't know. Alright, anyway. Onward and upward. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I wanted to like keep going across or if I wanted to go across this way. I'm probably better off going this way. Just so I can keep track of everything. Okay. Oh, that piece didn't get fully brushed out. That's all right. It happens sometimes. I did get, like I said, I did get some stuff fluffed. Last night, yesterday. But then I turned around and added that fluff directly in, so I did do a little bit of work on it. I feel like I didn't get all that much added, but I did. This is a little bit thicker. I've got this a little more even down here. And it's just the boring process of getting all this stabbed through. I do still have to stuff it. Now, I might try to work on this a bit. Outside of stream time, just because this is not a stage that you're missing much in. I don't know that I really need to do extra streams at this stage on this guy. Like, it just doesn't really seem like I need to go to that length of panic yet. We will see how things progress. with this guy. And how much we managed to get done today. Because I still need to come back through the other side. I haven't done that just yet. I think I'm a little crooked. No, I'm a little crooked. I've been trying to fix that crookedness a little bit now. Okay. Like, I don't think it's just like the weird way I've got it shaped so far. I think I am actually at a bit of a weird angle here. So do I want to go here? Do I want to come up here? I think we'll go here. I did get the photos finally taken of the magnet and the painting. We were trying to rush out the door to get the dog to the park before it started to rain again. After stream yesterday, so I kind of forgot that I still needed to take those photos. And then I was thinking, well, maybe I'll wait until I get it sealed to take the final photo, just to see if I can get those colors to pop a bit more. But I was gonna spray seal it this morning and then realized the cat was loose and I didn't have time. So we'll see what happens this afternoon if I can get that sealed. It's a little chilly out, but I think I can get away with sealing. And I think I have just enough sealer. I think. Hopefully it will have enough time to air out. I'm gonna have to leave that to sit outside for a little bit. So if I bring it inside while it's still a bit wet, it's gonna be stinky. Right there's a little thin, but we might be okay. I have a feeling I'm gonna blow through like all of this yarn in this bag today. I mean, it's there to be used. Don't get me wrong, it is. But I'm really hoping I have enough of this color to complete this thing. If I don't, I'm not quite sure what I'll do. Because the next color I have is camel. And the camel's a little bit lighter than this. So I'm not quite sure what to do about that situation. I know this is not a hugely entertaining section, but we did get Banana Sluggy finished here with his little wiggle eyes. And we are working on his display log. And I'm hoping we can get the display log done in time. Because I had originally wanted to put some bark lines in as well, but I don't know we're gonna have time now. Okay. You know, there's just not enough hours in the day to get anything done. It seems just nowhere near enough. So the archive of the dog painting will be going up. I think the last one is scheduled to go up I think the middle of December, early December. I have not even begun to edit the magnet, so that's going to take a little bit. So the magnet was 5 by 5. So I wasn't sure how tiny I could make that happen. And the 3 by 3 was probably just going to be like way too small for that. So, I mean, we've got a good amount of it put together so far. But we still have a little ways to go. This is just water that I'm putting on my palm. It's like a drop that I'm smearing across. The goal is not to make this wet. The goal is to have enough friction on my hand so that I can shape this. That's all it is. All that I'm doing there. As our friend is watching on. In the making of his hangout spot. So the main goal is to get this log put together. We've got the end pieces for it done already to make it look like a fallen log or a cut log, what have you. And then I've got some Velcro that I'm going to attach to the log and to the bottom of the slug. And we'll use that to keep him on his log. I did not want to make this solid because that was going to be a heck of a lot of polyfill. Instead, I'm just going to make the shell. And I'm going to stuff it. I could have made the shell out of felt, and just like needle felted some like little details. Sorry, the word escaped me for a second. Like some little bark crevices and things onto it. But my brain's like, no, let's do this. That'll take up so much time, and now you're gonna be like rushing to get everything done. That's fun. Silly brain. I have no idea what time to expect the mother-in-law to show up. Probably right as I'm putting dinner in the oven, to be perfectly honest, so that the husband can't eat his dinner hot. Because even though when they're on the road, the two of them can do everything just fine with hooking up all of the hoses and shit for this RV, the second they get here, it's like, oh, I can't do it. You do it. I'm like, really? I actually need him to do the water, though, because she'll hook it up and it'll be dripping and leaking everywhere, and it's our water bill that's gonna go up. And she won't care because she's not paying that bill. That's like the one thing that he needs to do if they're gonna actually hook up. They might just fill up a tank. Actually, I do need to see what the temperature is supposed to go down to tonight. That was not a great attachment there. Because if the temperature's supposed to get too cold, they're not going to be able to hook up to anything tonight. It's supposed to go down to 33 tonight. I don't know if we have to worry about that. Who's being hooked up to that or not. And then they weren't sure if they were even gonna stay, and I'm like... And then she said, well, I don't know if we're even stopping, and I'm like, what are you doing? And then she says, stay, we're on our way home. I'm like, so you are just coming here? Please make up your mind. So it's supposed to be a low of 33 tonight, a low of 31 tomorrow, a low of 32 on Thursday, low of 24 on Saturday, 25. Yeah, so they're gonna have to be disconnected from the hose line on Saturday at the very least. So let's where I'm still crooked. What the heck? What the heck? We're still looking crooked here. Why? Did you let Bean back out?
Yes.
I'm just gonna try to like hold this in place and even that up by anchoring it into another section. It'll probably create a tiny crease, but it might not be all that noticeable by the time we get done. Because like there's a little bit there, but I haven't gone back through that side, so okay. Tag that into there. So how's everybody doing today? Everybody ready for Thanksgiving if you're from the States? I have to make a brownie tomorrow because I'm not going to have room in the oven to make it day of. So I have to make that tomorrow night. I don't know if we're doing an extra stream on Thanksgiving itself. Kind of wanted to, like, hang out a little bit and maybe play some Katamari, but I am also going to be in the middle of dealing with turkey stuff, so maybe we won't. Maybe we just take the day. Because I'll be busy working on other stuff. I was originally planning on recording more Little Known Galaxy, but I found like 10 episodes I had recorded that I had not edited at the time. So I'm like, oh, I have this scheduled now through January. I don't necessarily have to do this today or like right now. So I don't know, I think I might just take the day to just mess around with cooking. I might need to do laundry. Actually, for as far as streaming schedule, let me look at the calendar real quick. Okay, so next Wednesday, we probably won't be streaming. I might make that up on Thursday. Or I do a second Planet Zoo stream over this weekend, but we might just do it next Thursday. So no stream next Wednesday. Need to go run errands and stuff. And I don't think we'll be doing those errands on Monday. I think we're going to be doing them on Wednesday. And I thought I'd gotten a lot more fluff shoved in this bag, but now it kind of looks like I didn't. So we did actually not really get any severe weather yesterday. I feel bad for those in Texas that did, especially with Thanksgiving being this week, and sounds like there was quite a bit of destruction in parts outside of Houston from that one tornado. So that kind of sucks. We get tornadoes in the fall down here. Not sure if anybody else got nailed with anything. We just had like really bad wind for a couple of hours in the morning, and then rain with the wind. It was like being inside a car wash looking out the one window. That was kind of wild. And it didn't really get all that much colder. The rain felt cold, but it was still around the same temperature this morning as it was yesterday, it felt like. So we are slowly. Whoop. Okay, that didn't fully attach there. I was concerned that that was going to be a thing. when I started to pull that up, I was like, okay. Hopefully they won't be here long, and they will at least keep their dog under control. So we don't have to hear them screaming at the dog to get back there and see her or hear her come running across the front porch or see her run out into traffic, because traffic has definitely increased lately. They rely on this vibrating chalk collar to keep the dog in check, and her sister the one day was standing there straight-faced to my face. Oh, that dog doesn't run away from me, as the dog is running away from her. Not 5 seconds later, bolting after the one cat that visits our house to eat. I'm like, that dog chases her into the street, and she gets hit by a car. We're gonna have a problem. And you're gonna be paying for the vet bill. If she survives. Because this is not something new. Not like the cat just wandered onto the property. This cat has been visiting us for some time now. And they know the cat exists. And they've seen this dog chase the cat. They know the dog is an issue in listening when they're here, and refuse to put her on a lead most of the time when they're outside. I'm like, I know y'all don't have her off a lead at the campgrounds that you stop at. Like, I know that for a fact, because they wouldn't allow that. So, what is the big deal? I don't get it. Alright, that's a little thin right there, but that'll get dealt with when I tack on the next set here. So the edges are usually always a little thin since we have more to go here. Not gonna be that fussed about it at the moment. So we're getting there slowly, but we are getting there. If I can at least get to this end, the amounts of fluff that I have today will be looking pretty good. So feel really secure. It's more secure than I thought it was. Again, just enough so that I can try to shape it. I don't want it to be like overly damp. Like, we're not wet felting. That's a whole nother beast. And I don't believe you can do the wet felting with the acrylic yarn. I could be wrong. I haven't really looked into how you do it. But I think that you definitely need the roving. Because that's going to stick a bit better to itself. The wool roving, excuse me. So I am using acrylic yarn. Usually people will go with wool roving for the needle felting traditionally. But you can use a lot of different fibers. I'm just using acrylic yarn. It comes, you know, in its yarn ball state. And I just cut some lengths and then brush it out with a sticker pet grooming brush. Has all these little angry teeth in it. I suggest that you get the metal ones and not the plastic ones, if possible, because the plastic teeth will eventually break out of the brush. I have found that they just don't handle that level of combing, or maybe I was just too hard on it. I mean, the teeth that I had on the one were kind of malleable. They weren't like super sturdy. And I've had the other brush with the metal teeth in it for a couple of years now, so I do suggest the metal teeth if you are looking for longevity. And I do have a video on the channel, on the YouTube channel. Same name as here. There should be a link to it under the about section, I guess. Maybe it's below the stream right now. I don't know. It's somewhere there. It should take you to the YouTube channel itself, and then it should be the first video on the Nisey needle felts playlist, I believe. Mr. Bean is slowly destroying my Christmas tree. Because he has figured out a way to get the branches to support his heavy butt. I don't think the other cats could pull it off. Like, he's not that heavy yet compared to them. But he's getting big. He's getting long. He's a long boy. And he is turning into quite the jumper. He gets a pretty good amount of height when jumping from the floor. Alright, I'm just being real gentle when I'm popping that up, just so I don't distort the mat. Because it is possible if you just rip it up carelessly. You just like go boom. You might rip your project or pull it apart. Or you might slightly disrupt the surface of your mat. So you do have to be somewhat gentle. You have to be forcefully gentle. Probably doesn't make any sense, but you know, you do want to pry it off of there just carefully. And we are just kind of stabbing in here. And we just keep adding as we go up. And I am overlapping a little bit into the section that I put down before. A, it helps make that section a little bit thicker, and B, gives us something else to attach into. Although that is pretty thin. That might need another, gonna need another guy on there. Actually, my finger was gonna poke through part of that. Like, that's too thin. That's gonna need another bit of fluffy help there. Well, that's okay. We find a section that's got a little thin on you, just add some more fluff. It's fine. Not a big deal. You didn't ruin anything. Fluff just was fluffy and did what it wanted to do instead of what you wanted it to do. Happens sometimes. Not a big deal. So as far as content coming up for the channel, I'm getting a flamingo latchhook rug for Christmas. We might do that together. Thinking about that, just to, you know, do some other little stuff for a little bit. We might try to do some embroidery together, as I am working on learning more about that. I will say the chicken that I did for my mom's gift was kind of fun, so or something different to do. And we might do that on Mondays for a little while. We'll see. We'll see. I got a Learn the Stitches kit just to learn more than what I've learned so far on the fly. Probably not a bad idea. So I can at least pretend to know what I'm doing sometimes. But I'll still have to look stuff up. It is me, right? That's the lovely thing about YouTube. If you don't understand how to do something, somebody else out there does. And we can go ahead and look that up. So it's not going to be like cross stitch, it's going to actually be embroidery. Cross stitch is a little bit different. You're just making your X's. This is going to be all different kinds of stitches. And I kind of learned the short and long stitch, but it kind of drove me crazy how much thread it uses that's on the back side that's not seen. So I kind of started doing, I modified it for my brain. It didn't look bad when I modified it either, so it killed me seeing that much thread being wasted on the back though. I was like, oh god. So I kind of came up with a little modification that still did not look bad, so it still filled it in the way it was supposed to. I'm not sure if anybody else modifies it, but it just Like, not like the embroidery thread's that expensive, but at the same time, do we need to be wasting this much thread on the side that nobody's gonna see? Because when you add it up, that could be like another 2 or 3 strands if you're doing a lot of long short needle. Like that could like hanks, skeins, what do they call them? I'm going to be using some of the embroidery thread that I had bought just in case I needed more colors and had to choose my own adventure on the kit that I got my mom. I'm going to be using one of those to that's kind of thin right there. I'm going to be using that to actually like stitch this guy together. We're definitely going to go back to our Bob Ross magnet series. I definitely want to get back to that. Now, when I get as far as I'm going to get in Moonstone Islands, I haven't fully decided what we're going to do next. I'm going to leave Planet Zoo in place for now, because we're still doing pretty well in that, and I'm not really tired of it yet. The 1 day a week with that's working pretty good for me. I don't know what I want to do. We have a couple of options. We could go back into Dinkum, because we haven't been there in a hot minute, and it's officially released now. We could go into Minecraft. That's another one we haven't streamed in a hot minute. I was in the middle of recording that, but I haven't had time to record it because I've been working on video editing pretty heavily. But that is an option. We could do a live stream playthrough of Honey, I Joined a Cult. I only did a recorded version of that so far. What else do we have? We have a few other themes on my list. We're recording Little Known Galaxy, so that's on the YouTube channel. So you guys will have to let me know. I never did end up picking up Planet Coaster 2, excuse me. Not sure if I'm going to now. I was excited about it, but I think I'd rather wait and just get Planet Zoo 2 at this point. But, we might go back to Dinkum for a while. I did enjoy that. And I haven't played it since it fully launched. So we'll definitely start a new a new map for sure. All right. I think we're making a little bit of headway here. A little bit. All right. So these are just my finger protectors to keep me from stabbing thyself too terribly. You can still, sometimes, depending on how heavy-handed you are, you can just like glance off the sides. Sometimes you can stab directly through them, depending on the angle you're holding your hand and the angle you're holding your needle and all that. It is possible. I know this because I've done it. I haven't injured myself too terribly though. It's like just managed to get through and like just prick the surface of my skin. But you know, it could have been worse if I didn't have them on. I could have like gone fully through my finger, which would have been a trip to urgent care. But hey, at least now I have a tetanus shot that's been updated recently, so that's good. I don't have to worry about that. I did end up taking down that bead cut curtain and throwing it out after it stabbed my foot. Although at this point, Mr. Bean might have ended up ripping it off the wall anyway. Rather that I get stabbed with the wire from the bead curtain that was probably like from the 70s than Mr. Bean eats something off of it, so. He's already doing a bang-up job trying to eat my Christmas ornaments, the light string on the Christmas tree that we have to keep deterring him from. I'm like, boy, don't you eat my pink fairy lights. I can't replace them. Not right now. So let's not do anything silly. He tried to eat one of my flamingo ornaments, and I can't remember if that was one I got when we were in Key West. I have to look at it more closely. Or if that's one we got here. It might have been one from Hobby Lobby one year. Like, nobody had flamingo Christmas ornaments this year. Hobby Lobby might have had one that I already had. And that was it. I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh. Well then. That's not helpful at all. How am I supposed to add to my mango ornament collection now? Like, that's just not gonna do. That's just not gonna do at all. Gently kind of scooching it up off the mat with my thumb. Just to kind of keep it from getting too embedded in there. Because that is a thing, it can happen. And I'm not talking hypothetical. I've done it. Can happen. Beginner mistakes. Alright. So, let's see. Get this one. Tapped into there. And again, I'm trying to at least get the very edge overlapped, so it's got something to stab into. So that we can keep extending this. If you do it more often, you don't have to worry about it getting too attached to the mat. It'll come up a lot easier. There, that's not too bad. I mean, we're definitely adding. That's for sure. I still need to go back through the other side. I have not done that just yet. I was trying to wait till we got the one side done so that way I didn't like overdo. Okay. So we'll get all of this. Popped into here. Okay. So I'm not too worried about the seams on the other side. I don't think they're going to be all that noticeable once we start coming back through. And especially after I get the bark lines put in. I don't think that that's going to be too bad. I think we're going to be doing just fine. Well, if I run out of fluff already fluffed, then we'll be making more fluff together. We'll see how things go here. So, again, just tacking along the edge of the previous piece. So we have something to anchor into. Yeah, so eventually I want to try to maybe embroider some Bob Ross inspired stuff. I've got some cloth that I'm going to be getting for Christmas as well, and I think the thread kit I bought's got those pens, the transfer pens, so that we can get something figured out. And we'll just see what we can do. You know? I'd kind of like to try to do a couple mandalas too. I saw one kit that looked all sorts of fun with that. I was like, ooh. Like, maybe not that exact pattern, but maybe using that as inspiration. Maybe I can enlarge one of my other stencils just a touch. And maybe improvise it. There's a few things that we could do there. All right. Definitely getting longer here. Or, yeah, longer. We're getting our guy filled in here. Hopefully we can get a decent amount added here today. And depending on how hectic things are tonight, I might try to do a little bit more on it tonight as well. We will see. All right. Get all of this popped into here. See, we're almost to this edge. All right, we are making progress. We definitely are. We could go back to Coral Islands. I think I want to play a little bit of Dinkum before we go back to Coral Island. And I don't know if they've added the age up update yet. I know there was talk of them adding it, and I think it got bumped back a little bit. And I think they take either 2 or 3 weeks off, or maybe it's a month off, like from the middle of December to the middle of January, for holiday celebrating on their team. I think, if I'm not mistaken, at least that's what they were doing before. I haven't really been keeping up with the news from them yet, and I only get like an email about it like every 2 months now, I think. I haven't noticed an update queued for it on Steam recently. I think the last one I saw was bug fixes. So they might have had a lot of the team being devoted to bug fixing And I'm not sure if the age up update went to beta yet or went to their testing section. I don't know. I know a lot of people were very angry about the last update taking so long, and they're like, we said it would be out by the end of this, and it's not the end of this yet. Y'all are like misunderstanding our words. And then they had quality checks that they had to go through, so they were trying to tamp down as many bugs as they could. They just couldn't win. Like, if they had released it and it wasn't as debugged as possible, because I mean, there's always going to be bugs that are going to happen when something goes live. It's just inevitable, right? And then you've got to play whack-a-mole as they show up. But they were trying to get as many of those dealt with before it went live, so people weren't bitching, and then people were bitching. So it was, if they had put it out before they did that, people would have been bitching. It's just, it was a no-win situation for them, and I feel really bad. Because it's not a bad game. But I think I would rather start that back up again once they've gone through that whole process. I know Katamari just had an update. Something about, they put a story or a news bulletin about upcoming content. They gave a gift. They gave a cosplay set for the prince. It looks like that says free. And then next month it looks like there's going to be a DJ outfit that's going to be given for everybody. Like maybe a little hat, maybe sunglasses, maybe headphones hanging around their neck, it kind of looks like, maybe. And then they're talking about music DLCs. Oh, that's about. Yeah, the last update in Coral Island was some hot fixes on November 2nd. Not seeing anything about the age up update. Oh, Magic Hat has an update. Let's see. I tried the Ever After Falls demo. That wasn't bad. Another little farming sim. How much is it? That one's $20. So, I mean, we might just pop back into Dinkum. Feels like a good time to pop on back into there once we are done with Moonstone Island for a bit. I don't know how long it will take to get to the point where we can finish that last quest with closing the rifts. Or closing the rift, because when we tried it long before we were ready, that boss had 1,000 health and was very much higher level than us. So that was quite an experience. And he was kind of just blowing through us. Now we have gained a few levels since then, and I've gotten the 2 other guys evolved since then. I don't know if that is going to help us or not. We might need to just be a higher level. Not sure what to make of that. Plus, I'm trying to get all of the dungeons completed. I think it said we have 4 dungeons remaining, but I only saw 3, so I don't know if one of them is a dark matter dungeon that I just didn't see. Because I think part of that island, one of those islands, was still kind of obscured. But we'll have to figure that out at some point. But we're gonna need a lot more food and a lot more hit points on our guys before we can even hope to do anything with that. More than likely. But we've got a lot more of those Healy mushrooms growing now, so that is helpful. Did you put the dog treats back into the pantry? Because he's being awfully quiet and I don't know where he is. And the last time he was being this quiet.
He's just sitting there in the hallway.
Okay. The last time he was being this quiet, he was into something. It's like the toddler that suddenly is being very quiet after they're normally creating chaos. It's like, what did you do? What do you have? It's when you walk in and the child has a marker and a Sharpie marker at that, and you're like, where did you find that? We had this little like square box. Oh, did that happen? Oh, that just happened. Really? I didn't hear the sound from Moobot. Moobot's just out here. You just created this account yesterday, didn't you? Alright. Try seeing a link to. Okay, that secured that. It's okay, there'll be 10 more that pop up in the next 10 minutes. Not necessarily in this channel, but I hope not in this channel. Those are annoying enough as it is. Hey, we are making progress. I can see the edge. I'm very close. Okay. So, after I get the display log filled in, So we still have a little ways to go. After I get our sheet felted here, I'm going to sew the circles into place. I'm probably gonna have to sew the bottom edge together because I don't know that I'm gonna be able to felt that seam together very easily. I'll probably have an easier time felting it. Let go. Okay. Get that into there. Okay. So this one's probably going to be a little thin in spots. Okay. So still doing okay. But I'm thinking I might need to definitely work on this a bit this weekend. Because I didn't get as much done as I was hoping to last night. But I still got something done on it. But it was a long day yesterday after painting, and I was originally just trying to get some fluff done, and I'm like, well, I could just add the fluff now. I mean, there's no reason why I couldn't. All right. One little tiny, teeny tiny, like, put my finger through it, light spot. Like right there. Like, I've got a couple thinner spots here and there. But that one was a little too thin in that specific spot there. Because I'm stuffing this with polyfill. We're gonna make our sheet here, right? And then I'm going to sew I don't know if I'm gonna sew the one end on first and then sew the side, or if I'm gonna sew the side and then sew the end. Either option there sounds slightly frustrating, but I'm not sure which is gonna be the easier option. Probably sewing the end on. And I've got pins to kind of pin everybody in their places where I need them to be. So then we'll We'll sew on one of the ends. We will sew the bottom edge. We will stuff this guy. Like a turkey. This is not all happening today, obviously. Even if we did an 8-hour stream today, I don't think we'd be anywhere near that. And then I have to sew the last end circle in. Guess we'll use the whole bit. And even using the whole bit isn't gonna fully fill that in. Now, I know some people are like, why not just lay it out flat? I could. I feel like I'd be using more fluff that way. Maybe I wouldn't. It's bringing the fibers in a little bit tighter. And I feel like I can move a little bit faster doing my little fluffy rolls. And it's giving the other side a little bit of texture at the moment. I don't know if that texture is going to hold, but we will see. Yeah, I've got a couple of creases where I was trying to fold what I've done so far over itself to try to straighten out the piece as a whole, but again, those might not remain after we stab back through on the other side. Those might flatten out, which is fine if they do, not a big deal. I didn't purposely put them in there to have extra texture. That was not my intention. What is everybody up to today? Anybody off for the week? I was kind of surprised they gave the kids the entire week off from school for Thanksgiving. We got like I think a half day before Thanksgiving Day. And then we were back like that Monday. It was not a very long break. And then they gave us enough homework to make it seem like we didn't. To seem like we had school. Like there was so much homework. Everybody wanted a project turned in. You have time. Well, not if your family's dragging you somewhere. Like some families travel to go see other family. Like, how do you expect this, like, report to be completed by then? Just always mystified me. I'm like, why is there so much damn homework? Either the way my brain processed information made it just seem like there was that much, or there really was that much. I was in the high school I went had 3 class levels. There were advanced placement classes for the smart kids in multiple subjects. I think math, maybe English, and maybe science. Oh, and I believe there was an advanced placement for the language classes too, so for Spanish and French. Then there was the college prep classes that just seemed to be nothing but homework and demands. Constant homework. Like every class acted like they were the only teacher that ever gave you homework, and that nobody else gave you homework, so you've got nothing else to do tonight except for this. And then there was the general classes, but they separated you out. The advanced placement classes, you had to test into those classes like before the beginning of the year or whatever. Like, I think in August or July or something, there were dates for that. They separated general and college prep out through GPA, and they did not seem to give a rat's ass if you were struggling and barely getting by in the college prep classes. Like, I would have had to have failed everything to tank my GPA purposely to get into the general classes so I didn't feel like I was drowning. That was the only way I was going to be able to get into classes where maybe I actually understood what the hell was going on. It was awful. I'm like, because I think we talked to them. I'm like, I'm not, or my parents did or something. And they were like, nope, we're not moving you down. I'm like, why? This is awful. It was so bad. And my science grade just kept going lower and lower and lower because I wasn't understanding anything the way it was being taught to me. And there were so many group projects. I'm like, you understand that this is a private school, right? And everybody is bussed in from everywhere, and parents don't have time to shepherd kids everywhere on the weekend or after school to do these group projects. Like, and then, because some kids rode the bus like for an hour in the morning to get in. Like, it was ridiculous. And I'm like, and then they had sports or whatever, and they didn't have time to do these group projects. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. It's not like we all live in the same town, you know? It's not like we can just take ourselves to the local library or something to get this done on our own time over the weekend or whatever. If some members of the group can't be someplace at a certain time, then how is this going to be a group project? Like, it always pissed me off. I didn't understand the whole point of the group projects because there's always one or two people, depending on how many people are in the group, that don't do anything. They don't help with any of the research. And the more people that you put into a project, the more absurd it seemed to get, because if you did delegate stuff, people didn't do what they were delegated. And it was just, it was more work than it needed to be. I was like, can't I just pass or fail this on my own? Like, why do we have to add other people and their wanting to actually try to get a passing grade or their inability to do anything? Oh, somebody else is going to work on this with me. They can do all of it. I'm not doing this. Like, in those groups where someone doesn't want to lift a finger, it makes the other person doing most of the work be like, you know what? I'm going to take the L on this one. I'm not carrying you. Or just start initialing every piece of work that you've done. There was definitely a favoritism towards sports in that school. It didn't matter what the sport was. If you were on a sports team, you could get away with just about anything. It was a very cliquey school. Which isn't surprising because most of the kids that went there were from the families that had the ability to pay tuition for multiple siblings to be there and not bat an eye at it. Because we had to pay for everything just about. We had to pay for our own lunches, obviously. If you wanted a hot lunch. We had to pay for our uniforms. Most of our books. There were very few books that we did not have to pay for. Though I was astounded by the fact that it was a Catholic high school, right? But we had to buy our own Bibles for religion class that we had to take. I was like, if you're forcing us to take this class, why aren't you providing them free of charge? No. We had to buy our own. I'm like, okay. I think the only things we did not buy were the history textbooks, the English textbooks, and I feel like maybe the math textbook. Everything else we had to pay for. Workbooks, our language textbook, any. Did we have? We had some kind of workbook for computer class. But I can't remember if we had to buy that or if they gave that to us. I think they gave that to us. Because I think the pages were laminated. And there was like a weird binder at the top. So yeah, I think that we didn't have to pay for. But such a pain in the ass. Because the town I grew up in did not have their own public high school. They were a sending district. So instead of building their own high school, which they could have done, taxes were high enough where they could have gotten away with it. And there were certainly enough kids in the town to get away with it. even if it was a smaller high school, they could have still done it. Um, they certainly had land to do it. That was definitely not an issue. Um, it was for some reason they were paying to send to other school districts, and either school district was not ideal of the options that we had. Both of those options, the kids from the sending districts were being like just beat up and given a hard time and stuff, and it was like, oh gosh. And I was like, I'm not sure about this. So there really wasn't a better option. And then you could have paid out of your own pocket to go to a different public school, I think. But at that point, that was going to be almost as bad as paying the tuition at the other place. And it was just ridiculous. I was like, yeah, okay. This is stupid. I know a lot of the parents in the town are like, why do we not have our own public high school? And then the city was trying to do some song and dance about, oh, well, taxes are already so high. And this town is not that grand. Where are these taxes going? Why are these taxes this high? Like, $4,000 and $5,000 a year on a property in a town that was not pristine. There was like dilapidated buildings. It was, I'm like, why? Why are the taxes so high? Probably because people were willing to pay them. It was just crazy. So we'll get this piece tacked into there. Alright, so we've made it to the other edge here. So we're definitely getting somewhere. I'm gonna have to add a little bit more in this spot because it got a little short. Mr. Bean is getting into trouble, I think. Ed is just sitting there staring at something. So good news is that when I went back to do a test on what happened yesterday, I did not hear Spotify come through my desktop audio. How did that unmute? So, it seems like we're good. for whatever happened there. And I didn't notice any major issues when I did a recording test after stream. So that should be okay. So yay for a happy accident, I guess. Mr. Bean! What are you doing, bud? I don't think there's any birds in the bird feeder today. We need to check those bird food levels later. Because the squirrels have been in there. We didn't think that they could shove themselves in there, but they certainly did. Needs a little bit more stabbing there. Meow. Hi, leave Ed be. Ed is being remarkably patient with you. Mr. Cato. He just went after somebody else. I have no idea who.
Right, actually.
That's fine. Going after toys is more than fine. How do I want to do this? I'm not entirely sure. Right? Maybe we just start down here. Right? And we'll get this. Okay. So we'll get this piece. Start to extend this way, just because I'm not sure where I want to attach on the other direction yet. I do want this to be a little bit more solid. Oh, what happened?
Sorry, dears. Can I borrow a pair of tweezers?
Tweezers.
Yes.
Before you've like bent them closed, so
Closed.
I thought they opened further than that.
They were not closing all the way. They were like bent in.
Well, now they're benting where they're not bent where they're not opening. So that is not a super strong attachment. Alright, that's a little better. Okay. Alright, so this piece is a little messy. Probably could have gotten that shaped a little bit better. But I think it'll do for right now. So try to work this into place here. So at the very least tonight, I'm going to be fluffing more yarn. More than likely. Little bit here is just being a little extra stubborn about getting stabbed together here, but all in all, not too bad. Just seemed like the easier option to just build off of this edge since we were already down here. Let's kind of work our way back the other way. Right, like, might as well. I do apologize if Zuzu barks here in a second. Husband was cleaning Snuffle's ears, and sometimes he gets jealous about the attention and demands his own ear inspection. Like, he doesn't want it, but he demands it because she got attention. And then because one of them gets a treat, they both have to get a treat. She gets a treat for holding still. While he did her ears. Alright, give me 1 second here. Okay. So hopefully we can get back down this other side. And we've been opening the mother-in-law's bank statements that show up. She has a charge on there that I don't understand why it's there. So I don't know if he's gonna be like, what is this? Because we've been making note of streaming services that she's being charged for that she may or may not actually be using. So he needs to sit down with her and be like, okay, well, we need to cancel this and this and this. And then that will free up some more money for you. Because he already warned her we cannot help her for a few months while we deal with trying to pay off the stove that we had to replace very suddenly and unexpectedly. To which we subtly, not so subtly, gave her grief over because we could have used the house line of credit that was in place for house emergencies. Oh, wait. No, we couldn't have. Because someone spent it on traveling expenses. Blatantly and unashamedly. Even after her sister paid back what she had borrowed from it to fix the RV, eventually, because she forgot she hadn't paid it back. And then told us, oh, well, we can use that to travel with in November. And we're like, no, we can't. That is not a traveling expense. That is not what that is for. That is for house emergencies. You know, if suddenly the roof leaks or a pipe breaks. You know, house emergencies. And then her sister's like, well, we won't be touching it. To which Russell and I looked at each other and were like, uh-huh. She blew through it within the next month. For what seemed like nothing. Stupid shit. Like, not like, oh shit, this happened or that happened. No, just because it was there. So frustrating. Especially after we paid it off the last time. So incredibly frustrating. But I'm sure everybody has one of those people in their lives, right? I can't be the only one. Well, the money is there. Why shouldn't I pay? Why shouldn't I use it? Because you have to pay it back. No, that's not my problem. Yeah, it is. Because we're not paying it back. We didn't touch a dime of it. But I have a feeling it's going to come down to getting extended because those things have a date limit on them. And I don't know if it has to be paid back by that end date, or if that just means that she won't be able to draw from it after that end date if it's not extended. I don't know. We can't even legally pay onto it without her here. And it's not that easy as being no contact with her, because we are in her house currently. Making sure everything stays functioning while she's gone. Oh, that is a little bit thin in there. Not sure if I can fix that. I mean, of course I can fix it, but yeah. That needs to be fixed now. Because that's definitely daylight poking through there in an alarming amount. Kiba is hiding under a chair, watching Bean in the other room. Get out of that Christmas tree! Mr. Bean! All the way! Don't you chew them wires! Hang on, I gotta go check on him. Sorry about that. He got a ball off the Christmas tree. One of the few ball ornaments that I had. Still had to go check and see what he was up to. Because he had one of my flamingo... He's gotten a hold of one of my flamingos that we might have gotten from Cracker Barrel. I had a feather off the ass end of it. And was sliding down the Christmas tree branches with it in his mouth. And was trying to run away with it. So we had to put that up somewhere else. I think we had a hook in the ceiling in the other room that we just hung it off of. And I've got another one that's almost identical to it. He hasn't found that one yet that I'm aware of. And now he's back in the Christmas tree. Boy. Nothing is sacred with Mr. Bean about. Everybody else posts these photos and videos of their cute, dainty kittens and how well behaved they are and how they just want to snuggle and cuddle. And no, I have a demon void. I have a demon void with all of the void energy. So now we don't know if the mother-in-law is showing up today because they had to stop and take a break. They're supposedly about 2.5 to 3 hours away for the max. But they're like, we have to stop. Like, okay. You're this close and you're stopping. Okay. Didn't say why they were stopping. Okay. So we will see. I guess I will keep y'all updated on Blue Sky. And that is a bit of a thin section right there. I've gone through about half the fluff. Excuse me, I had in this bag so far today. But we'll see how things go. But yeah, I'm excited about doing some new things on the channel. Like I said, I still want to get back to our Bob Ross magnet series. I'm probably going to have to order more magnets because I think I'm going to run out of those before anything. I certainly have plenty of wood backing and wood sticks for frames. Those we are plenty good on. So how are you liking your teapot anyway?
It's okay.
It sounds like there's something wrong.
It just gets cold so fast.
Do I need to try to um sew you a cozy or something?
I mean, I could do something like that.
Maybe we can get like a little small amount of like quilt batting and get some like bandanas or something that you can make like a little insulated cozy to put around it.
Maybe.
I mean, it's that or I try to embroider you one with crabs all over it, holding teacups.
I don't know how well that would go.
I don't either. Yeah, don't know either. It's like a smaller teapot, so I don't know if you could buy something that would fit it. 'Cause I know they make teapot cozies to help the tea stay warmer. What just fell out of that tree? Hi. I heard something hit the floor. We have the tree tied to the wall, so he doesn't knock it over, because it would have fallen over by now. And I don't know if that's what he's using to help him get up there. I almost need to build a cage to put around it. I guess at least it's not a real tree and he's not covered in sap. Because didn't that happen to Little one year? One of the branches we had to trim or something and it started leaking sap everywhere. And she climbed it the last year we had a real tree. I know I got sap on me and it would not come off. It took forever. Mr. Bean! You better not be chewing that wire. Like, I only have a partial view of the tree from where I'm at. And I'm just sitting here watching it shake back and forth. I guess the ball that he got off of there was no hooks on it. Because of the cats. I didn't buy ornament hooks. I used a little bit of embroidery thread that I didn't need, that I had extra of, as my string to hang everything, and I really knotted it on there. So we cat proofed it in that regard so that we didn't have hooks and animals getting stuck on them or trying to ingest them or anything like that. So we took care of that. We don't have any tinsel or anything on the tree. I have a couple possible breakable ones that we got in Key West that are up near the tippy top. One is of Rhett and Scarlet, the flamingos from the Butterfly Conservatory, painted on a sand dollar. So that one's a little bit fragile. And then I have another one that is just like a disc that says Key West on it in some like jewel tone teal and purple background with some like black silhouetted palm trees and stuff on it. And I have a small glass flamingo guy up near the top. Really don't want to get up again and check on him. But I think... Oh, he's back in here attacking Ed. Hey, 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 no throat bites. No, that's not acceptable. No. He is just a wild man today. He was being so good last night. He was just chilling. Wild man, Mr. Beans. He's full of beans right now. See this side? There's a couple ridges right here, but that is from me folding stuff over, and I think once I come back through this side, it's not gonna be all that noticeable. And it adds texture for, you know, tree bark and stuff, so I'm not that worried about it. Alright, so again, just a little bit of water. I'm still really confused as to why they picked our recycling up today. I don't know if they were just stopping because they were being nice and they noticed our bins behind the planter, or if we need to like go down to the water department and be like, hey, did our day change and nobody told us? Because I'm not complaining about stuff just randomly being picked up, but I want to make sure I'm not being an asshole and missing a day. Because after the trash got picked up on not a trash day, and now they're recycling by different people.
I'll tell you what, I need to go down there
To check the bag situation?
Yeah, so let me slap Bean in the thing. I'm sure Mom's will walk out.
I'm just so confused. I mean, I'm not complaining about them picking it up early, not at all. I just want to make sure our day didn't change. The one lady that is usually running the drive-through window when we go to pay the water bill has dubbed us the Flamingo House. Because apparently, I guess we're the only house in town that has that many flamingos outside. I guess. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I certainly have a small army out there right now with the Christmas decorations. Because there's temporarily 4 more flamingos out there. 2 of which light up. And, because of where we put them this year, I had to move my other flamingos to a different spot. So a couple of them are kind of out in the weather a bit more than they were before. These ones are metal. I'm just hoping they don't rust. I didn't spray them with clear coat before I put them outside. Maybe I should have. Probably should have sprayed Mongo in clear coat, but he was painted and he doesn't seem to be rusting. But I decorated him He's got his little Santa hat tied to his head. And we bought a garland for my dad's tree that we didn't end up putting on it. I don't remember why we didn't end up putting it on there. Maybe we thought it was just going to be too much. But, we didn't end up doing anything with it. See, it still feels like a little bit crooked. Like, I feel like that would definitely help us not be so crooked. Potentially. But I also kind of feel like I already went through that section. So we have to get trash bags from the city in order for the city to pick up our trash bags. If they don't have the city's name printed on them, they won't pick up our trash. Because space is limited in the dump. And, that's the rules. It either has to be... But then they added a trash can that you can buy. Or rent, I guess. For X dollars a month. And those don't have to have the city trash bags in them. But they will not pick up anything that overflows the city trash can. If you have like one bag that won't fit into that trash can and you set it next to the trash can, they will not pick up that bag. So it's either buy trash bags or rent this trash can. Or you're buying the trash can and then paying a monthly fee or something. And I'm like, seriously? However, you can't just go down to the city department and buy a box of trash bags when you run out. It's not that simple. You have to sign up for a plan every December for how many boxes of trash bags you think you're going to use over the course of the year. They've got several different plans. If you run out of trash bags on your plan, you need to figure it the fuck out. Because if you run out of boxes of trash bags, and these boxes are $5 a box, I think. Last time I remembered how much they were. If you run out of boxes in your plan for the year, before the year is over, it is $3 per bag. I'm like, what? Or you can go down to the dump yourself when they're open and they'll charge you, like they weigh your vehicle and then you dump and then they weigh your vehicle again and then they'll charge you the difference. Like they'll subtract the difference and then charge you the weight that you dumped. And I think the minimum charge is $10. Providing you didn't dump anything hazardous that you had to pay an extra fee for. There's a lot of people in this town that burn their trash illegally. You're really only supposed to burn it outside city limits and in special burn barrels. And even then, it's only certain things that you're supposed to be allowed to burn. But I know plenty of people that have fireplaces just throw their trash in there. Or have burn barrels or fire pits that throw their trash in that. We caught the mother-in-law trying to burn plastic. They were just throwing trash. Like, straight up trash in the fire pit. And I'm like, what are you doing? You understand this, you can't just burn whatever. Like, if it's a cardboard box or something, I'm not happy about it, but we're not just throwing whatever trash we want to in the fire pit and burning it. I don't know what you all are doing when you're on the road, but you can't do that here. It's gonna give off a chemical smell. You can't be breathing that shit in right over top of it. Stop it. You're gonna be, like, giving yourself all kinds of problems out here. But yeah, they're about 2.5 hours away and had to stop to take an extended break because her sister doesn't take care of herself to where they can drive very far in one day. And I'm like, so you guys are 2.5 hours away, and you feel so terrible that you can't keep driving to get here. But you're gonna spend money to stay at another truck stop or whatever. Okay. Y'all, I just can't with these two. Okay. So tomorrow they might arrive. If they don't end up arriving tonight in the dark and dealing with all of their bullshit in the dark and acting all happy and jovial and that we should just be so excited that they're back. And then being mad at us for not being excited that they're back because of the amount of bullshit that just landed in our lap that we have to deal with. That always happens on their arrival. And I'm not kidding. They're capable of dealing with all of their nonsense when they're on the road, but they get here and it's like, you do it. Excuse me? No, this is not my RV. You all wanted to travel around and drive in this thing, you do it. I don't think so. Bad enough that him and I had to put up money for this damn RV outlet. When they originally talked about parking the RV here at times, there was originally, I'm like, Russell, the circuit breaker isn't going to be able to handle that. And he's like, I said, she's gonna have to put in a circuit for her, and she's gonna have to pay for it if they're gonna park it here. He's like, yep, I know. And they didn't. And they kept trying to run the RV through a normal outside outlet on our front porch, and so when they were here during winter, I couldn't have my Christmas lights plugged in, which is the one thing that I looked forward to. And I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Now I have to give up something else for somebody else. I am so tired of this. And they kept jumping the breaker for the RV, and they finally had one put in mysteriously right after Russell got his back pay. And then suddenly we had to put up a third of the money for it. And I'm like, what? this wasn't explained to us till after she had the work done. And she's like, yeah, we'll split it 3 ways. And I'm like, excuse me? And at that point, Russell was just so done with it. He's like, isn't it not worth arguing with them about? So we had to put up 2/3 of it because his mom didn't have money to put up her portion. I'm like, Russell, this isn't our RV. This isn't our outlet. This is asinine. I'm like, okay. Yeah, the anxiety and migraine these people give me. Because nothing they do makes sense. Alright, what time is it? 1:30. So we've not done too bad here today. So what's the verdict? Did they change our day?
No.
Okay, so they just stopped because they felt like stopping.
Yeah, or someone made a mistake and they were new or something. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't being assholes.
They also human errored our bag count, so we now have bags. I grabbed them while I was there.
I told you I didn't think we were out of bags.
Well, they definitely screwed up something because when I went there, they were saying that we had 7 boxes left, which we certainly didn't do.
Are they sure?
Yeah, she said that's probably human error, but we're just gonna leave it. You're gonna have 5 boxes left. So I grabbed 2 boxes, and I'm probably gonna grab most of the others next month. Turnover is actually in January now.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Because I was like, there's no way we're that short on bags because we didn't do that much.
Well, we're supposed to get 12 rolls a month.
Uh-huh.
Except my mother got that one big roll, and you get less rolls if you get the big ones.
Yeah.
So 1 a month is about what we normally use. So yeah, we would have been a little short because she got the big one. So, but no matter, I'm gonna stock up because we have them available due to human error.
And you fixed it, right? Like, we're getting the smaller.
Yeah, we were always supposed to get the smaller. She just got the wrong fucking bags.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Right. Okay. I want out of here so bad. Oh, I hope we're able to move at some point. It's not quite time, buddy. You've got a little bit more. So, okay. So hopefully they'll be here well before dinner tomorrow night. Because you can't eat tomorrow night's dinner cold. I'm putting my foot down about that. Not time yet, Zuzu. You might as well leave him in the bedroom. Because I might wrap up a little early today. Just to be done with this. Because he seemed to do okay when we took him early yesterday.
Yeah, he really doesn't make a big deal of the whole thing.
He just wants to go, and it seems like after he goes, he's...
Oh, I thought you were talking about the cat.
Oh, no. I meant Zuzu. Zuzu didn't get too pissy last night, but... I think I'm quickly approaching a need for a break, so... Oh, that's a little bit of a mess there. That got a little thin in that spot. I mean, I will probably go back to working on this a little bit later today off of stream. Just because I've got quite a lot of ground to cover still. But I figured we could catch up on some of the family drama. Some of the other family drama I can't go into. I don't have all of the details on it. Number one, only heard about it like third hand. But it seems like it has pretty much been resolved as far as the major players are concerned. It just needed to be thickened up a little bit there. At the very least, have to spend the evening fluffing yarn. Like, I can see some thin spots here and there, but I'm hoping they really won't be that much of an issue. So, yeah, I've still got, I'd say maybe halfway done. With where we're at currently. Okay. Yeah, but you know what? We definitely made some progress. We got that line filled in, and then we're working back this way. I got some of this, can't see it. I got some of this extended the other day. But no, I think we're definitely moving pretty good, because then this section here won't be like too much to fill in. So, and so I just have to kind of bring that to here, and then I guess I'll start in on the next row back the other way. But we're definitely getting somewhere. This is getting a lot bigger. But yeah, I think we're gonna stop a little early. I'm starting to get a slight headache. So I'll probably, at the very least, spend the afternoon fluffing more yarn. I hope I have enough. If I don't have quite enough, I might have to make a shorter log. I think I will, though. We'll see. And I'm gonna have to make sure I save a... Well, I don't know if I have to save a sample of that color. I'll just have to look at colors from the other brand, because that was a paint box color. I might try to transition from paint box over to loops and threads. Just because paint box has gone up in price, and loops and threads has been about a consistent price, and when it goes on sale, it's a decent price for the amount of yarn that you get. So the paint box has gone up enough where if it's not on sale, I'm not so sure about getting it, because they're smaller balls of yarn. So I'm like, if I'm gonna pay that much for the ball, I'd rather get more out of it. So, but you know, all perfect personal preference. So I will see everybody tomorrow, hopefully, for Planet Zoo. They might show up in the middle of Planet Zoo. and create all kinds of chaos. I might have to start slightly later if they show up right before I go live, so I'm still planning on going live tomorrow. It might just be a little bit delayed, so I do apologize if that ends up being the case. Keep an eye on Blue Sky because I will try to post on there what's going on and what time we're gonna try to go live. I'm still shooting for normal time, but we'll see what happens with that. So everybody enjoy the rest of their evening. If I don't see you again tomorrow, then have a good turkey day, and I will see everybody next time.